Okay, that's my ledger rod in. That's going to act as like my sleeper rod for the day. I'm just going to set up my float rod now. It's freezing cold, so I want to get all this done, and then we'll have a chat about what we're up to today. But yeah, hopefully we're going to bump into some big fish at some point. It's freezing, look at it, it's like a winter wonderland. Right, I'm finally ready to go here. Got a whole lobworm on the waggler rig. And yeah, we're out fishing for big commercial perch today. Something I tend to do at this time of year when the rivers have closed and it's still a bit early for proper carp and tench fishing. This is what I'll come out and do it. Doesn't just pass the time though, this is serious fishing. I've caught 2-pounders, even 3-pounders doing this. And they're all over the place, you've just got to track them down. It's amazing how as soon as that light starts dipping later, suddenly the place comes alive. So I'm at a pond you've seen me fish before for big perch, and I'm in the same swim as well. I've done all right in this swim, either here or a couple of others I've caught from. So I'm going to start here and then I might end up moving around, we'll see how we get on. But for the time being, I've got a prawn on my ledger rod, I've got a big worm on my float rod here, and I'm just going to let it settle before I start properly feeding and getting into it. And yeah, with a bit of luck we'll catch a big perch today. If you're into this sort of fishing, subscribe for more to come. But yeah, for now I'm just going to concentrate on what I'm doing, and fingers crossed we get a good fish. Okay, so I've fished for, I suppose, probably about an hour now, and I have had a few pulls under on the whole lobworm. But yeah, it is quite a big bait, so I'm not surprised they've not committed. Now it could have been a crayfish, there are crayfish in here. What I'm just going to do is make that sort of a half worm, try that instead and see if that gets me a bite. What I don't want to do, and what you think might be the right course to do, is to maybe put on a few maggots and just catch whatever's out there. But I've kind of learned that that's a bit of a false economy really. You're just fishing away, catching small fish, and really you should just sit it out for a big one, you know. In the time it takes you to catch like 10 or 12 roach, if you'd kept your worm or your prawn on or whatever, you probably would have caught your big perch. So yeah, I'll stick to the big baits, and inevitably in the end they seem to do the job. Okay, it's coming up on about 3 o'clock now, so yeah, nothing's happened for 5 or 6 hours now. I've had the odd indication, most of it I'm putting down to crayfish, but I have had a few proper rattles and the float going right under. In fact, my margin rod twanged around so much it was like rattling and you know, shaking in the rod rest. So yeah, that's got to be a fish, and even if it's sort of 50-50 crayfish fish, then I think there are some in the area, and it is getting to that time of day now where I would expect things to start picking up. And kind of right on cue, a carp rolled, and again actually, oh my god, just through the trees there. Yeah, that was a smaller fish, but fish are moving, they're starting to they're starting to show themselves, and that's from not seeing anything all day to the odd fish showing and the odd bite occurring. So yeah, just really hoping out that we'll get that big perch. I keep walking up and down the bank when I'm recasting and seeing if I fancy any other areas, but I really don't. They're all in the eye of a storm, feel freezing cold, and you know, I'm set up here now and I've caught before, so I'm going to stick with it. Maybe in the next couple of hours, man, we'll catch a big perch. Finally starting to get some bites on the float there. Missed a couple. and yeah, a few divers and that, so fingers crossed. Jesus. Well, I can't believe it. It's my first ever blank here. So I'm gonna pack away and get out of here. I'm freezing cold. Maybe we'll pick this one up again another day, perhaps later on in the week or maybe even next week. I'm gutted. Okay, it's a couple of days later after that disaster of a blank. It was nothing. I think I got 2 bites that day that I felt were worth striking at, and that's it. So I've come back and yeah, conditions are much better. It's much warmer. It's going to go up to like 15 degrees today, considering 2 days ago it was like 0. And I'm not surprised I didn't catch. Thinking about it, this lake is stream fed. That comes straight off all these fields. All that snow you saw melted and went straight in the pond and must have just absolutely killed it. So yeah, I'm back again, giving it a go in hopefully better conditions. I wanted to be either back in that same swim or one to the right in a bit deeper water, but there's like a match type angler set up bang in the middle of all that. So I practice what I preach, because I hate it on commercials when, you know, people they could have a whole lake to themselves, yet they've got a fish next to you. So I've come round onto another bank where there's still some snags and things close in. I've gone along with my quiver tip rod, just banging with a lead, just seeing the depths and things. It's all pretty uniform along here, about 5 foot. So I've set up near some trees, and yeah, we can always move if I'm not feeling it. But yeah, I think today with this warmer weather, we'll at least stand a better chance, you know. Fingers crossed. I keep saying that, fingers crossed. We've got something. There we go, nice round. Now, I will admit to putting on a bunch of maggots. I've said to myself, I'll do that until I get a bite, then I'll put the prawns on. So, the prawns are going back on, because there is some life out there. And that didn't really take very long there, about 15-20 minutes. You seeing this carp? Well, the rain has come. It was forecast, so I can't complain. Didn't think it was going to be as hard as this though. It said light showers. Yeah, nothing light about this. My worms are late. Well, if this is a perch, it's a monster. Common carp. Made a bit of a mess of the netting, but we've got it. Well, considering the number of carp drifting around the bay here, it's only a matter of time, I suppose. Oh, it's just unhooked itself. On the worms, of course. I've been casting these worms around and I've lost 2 hook links because I think they've cut back a load of reeds but perhaps left for stems. And yeah, I've been getting caught on them. But there we go, that was just off the rod tip. Yeah, I've seen carp going by closely in all day. So I'm happy to have got one, and it makes up for that blank. Well, it doesn't really, because I would love it to be a big perch. I've missed a couple of sailaways on my float, but finally connected with something that pulled back properly. There we go. That's awesome, right? I'll keep going, and hopefully one of these carp will turn into a perch. A fat little common going back. Go on, matey. Lovely. Right, quick show of the rig. So I've got my normal 11-foot light quiver tip rod with a little baby bait runner on there, an 8-pound line. You could use anything from sort of 5 to 10 really if you wanted. Little lead there, flat lead, sliding on a little swivel that's got a bead on it, and that really helps to cut down on resistance. And also having both the swivel and the link sort of gives you a bit of like that paternoster effect, cuts down on the resistance a perch feels. Little quick change bead, about 18 inches of hook link there with a big twizzled loop at the end here that prevents tangles. And also when you're playing a perch with its head nodding, that big twizzled loop can kind of contract and go, you know, like a bungee really. Size 6 hook, and then yeah, lobworm with the tail nipped off and then hook back on, and that's got a bit of life left in it. We'll give it another go, and all I'm doing is popping it just close in. I'll show you now. Just over the ledge there. Come on, I have a perch. Finally, and it's a good one. Okay, I'm going to unhook it in the net, get the rod back out, and then do all the weighing and everything, because we're in proper golden time now. Need to use it all. Well, that's mission accomplished, guys. Come on, let's just spat a prawn up. So it was eating the prawns down there. That's amazing. A quick show, and I'll weigh it, and I'll get back to it, because I'm guessing there's time for another one. That's nice. Borderline £2, let's find out. All sorts of stupid thoughts going through my head, like, has it been netted? Has they been moved to another pond or something? Desmond Tutu. Yes, come on. I'm buzzing. In the Marks and Spencer's bag. Sorry, mate. Coming a bit closer. Float fish prawn. I've been plugging away on that prawn line all day, waiting for something to happen. Boom. And it wanted it, it nailed that. I needed a forceps to get it back. Lovely dark one. Sometimes they're a bit washed out on commercials, but nah, check out that. Right, a couple of photos before we properly lose the light, and maybe we'll get another one. But that's brilliant. Proper old commercial fish. In many ways, they're the biggest fish in here. Thickness on them. Like a grouper. Right, a couple of pictures and we'll get it back, yeah. Me, quiver tip rod's away. I'm actually not done with this perch. I want to get some better pictures. I'm just going to keep it in the net. Oh, I've got a carp on here for sure. Don't really want it, if I'm honest. It's nice to have that. I want some better pictures with that perch. Smoking drag. Get this and keep the perch in the net. The perch is still here in the net. Quick show of this carp and we'll get it back. Hopefully keep hold of that perch for some better pictures. It's coming to no harm, but very quick show of a nice £6 mirror, something like that. There we go. We're on fire now, but I want to get it back, get some better pictures of this perch, as I say. Okay, let's finally get this chap back. He's earned it. Old Desmond here. What a perch. Oh, ready to go. Ah, yes. Oh, you're just stuck in a branch. Yeah, there we go. That's brilliant. Right, come on, let's see if we can get another. a minute. I thought we'd had the last of the rain today. Oh, what happened? I think that needed more of a strike. Roach. Decent. Get another prawn on. This could be a perch as well. Look on something. Is it? I think it just doesn't know it's on. Maybe more carpy now, isn't it? Can't beat it. I think it's a cow. Another little common. Get rid. Okay, there we go. missed something, but the swim's bubbling away like a cauldron, so I reckon it's probably carp. Ah, well, get back in. And I've got another 5-10 minutes. Well, I better wind in now. Gotta get home. Soph's off out, so I'm looking after Stanley. Didn't even have a bait on anyway. I've been done there. All right, let's get this away. Let's get gone.